Episode of Mabimpressions. Today we're going to be reviewing Culdcept Begins. This is a game that is over 10 years in the making. I believe the original games you can play on PS2, Xbox 360, and of course the Nintendo DS. I remember seeing it back in the day and being very intrigued by the pictures I saw, some of the videos, like, oh, it looks like you're playing like a board game, but then it's kind of like Monopoly, a little bit of Mario Party, but it has like a JRPG aesthetic. And this game is a completely new one in the series. And yeah, they are porting the old one. You can get it on Switch, and you can also get it on Steam upcoming in the next couple of weeks or so. But I'm here to talk about just this game. So if you want to hear like the differences between the original game, I don't have that for you because I really haven't played it, but I can talk a lot about this one. So the story here, and once again, I don't know how it relates to the original one. You're playing as a character named Comru, and you are related to someone called the Origin. But basically, this whole continent that you're on has been united by this one guy, and basically a north, south, east, west, fire, wind, all those lords. Tension's starting to break out and things are happening, so your character kind of gets caught up in the middle of it, seeing who's actually the bad guys here, etc. And the whole world is all about power with these Culdcepts. Now this is a profession where people master the arts of using different cards to summon creatures and activate lots of abilities. So that is kind of the story around it. Let's talk about the gameplay, which is the most important thing about it, and whether or not you will know if you like this. If you look at the gameplay and you don't know what the hell's going on, I will explain. So basically, it's all about, well, missions, right? So you go through different stories. You have main missions, which show you a little bit of the story. Then you go right into a sort of battle. And then you go into side stories, which is the same thing, mission and battle. So how battles work is you have a goal of getting a certain amount of money. Now, in this game, money is magic. Magic equals magic gold. So let's say the limit is 7,000 or 8,000. You have to get it before your opponent. So how it works is you're going to be playing on a board. It's not really randomized. It's definitely a really set board that is kind of balanced between all the different elements. So a lot of people have a chance to win. But basically, you would roll a dice 1 through 8, and then you get to run in a direction any way you want, but you're always going to be ending up back at the go spot, which is the castle. So you roll the dice, you go on a space, and depending on the space color, you can go ahead and summon a creature. You start the game with a bunch of cards in your hand, and you can make your deck comprised of different types of cards. You have creature cards, you have spell cards, weapon cards, the item cards, scroll cards, and a lot of things like that. The whole goal is to probably summon a lot of creatures as possible, though there's a lot of nuance and different strategies. So let's say you roll the dice and you land on a red tile. In your hand, if you built your deck around red creatures, you can summon it using gold. Think of it like Monopoly. You go and until you hit a vacant spot, and then you can summon any creature in your hand that you want that costs money to do so. If you end up matching it, because you can still, if you go on a green dice, a green tile, you can still summon a red creature. However, you won't get some certain benefits, which we'll talk about. But let's say you throw out a monster, and then your opponent goes next. They roll a dice and they land on that monster tile that you have. Think Monopoly. They land on your house. They land on your hotels. They have to pay you money. So usually they would just pay you a little bit of money, and you have the opportunity throughout the game to level up that property to make it even higher. But if they land on your property, they have a chance to steal it, and that's where the sort of monster battling portion comes in. You have cards, you have different sorts of weapons and armors, so does your opponent. If they choose and land on your spot, they can fight. So basically every creature has they have an attack stat, they have a defense stat. So you have cards in your hand as well, and they all have different abilities, right? Like, oh, this creature is really good against, it will critical hit against fire creatures, or this one will regenerate fully after battle. So it's all about the luck of the roll here, but there is still a lot of strategy in here. So they can attack, and if they fail, your creature will still take the damage, and it will take that persistent damage to make it easier to take out later. And then you get to attack them back during that same battle, and if you destroy them, pretty much their card gets destroyed. So it's a kind of a risky thing there. But if they fail or they choose not to battle, you pretty much steal some of their money. And just like Monopoly, if they don't have enough money after they have to pay the taxes, then they have to kind of sell some of their properties, which is other monsters on the field. And if they can't do that, I believe it's a game over. So that is the core of the game. You are going through the map in a one direction, but there's it splits a little bit, but you're always ending up back. and you have to go through different checkpoints, which is called forts, which allow you to get a little bit of money. And if you land on those forts, you can upgrade any single one of your properties by spending your own money. So you have to do a little bit of balance of how much money do I have at the time, how much money do I want to spend to upgrade each of my areas, because if they land on it, it equals more money for me. So where it's super important is if you put the right monster on the right tile, and that's just the color, right? You put a blue monster on a blue tile, that means passively they get plus 10 HP. If you bump up that property to be level 2, 3, 4, and 5, they get that plus 10 again, respectively, as they go forward. And if you are able to collect more creatures on that board together, any creature that they are next together, that they're next to each other, it doesn't matter if it's the same color or not, same creatures or not, each of those creatures get plus more attack. So you buff up the tile to get HP, you buff up, you put monsters down to get strength, and that's how it works. So there's a lot of nuances because you have tons of cards, right? Every time before you roll your dice, you get to play a spell from your hand. Lots of different spells. You can roll 2 dice. You can attack a creature right away with a spell on the board. You can change things on the board. You can curse things. Lots of cool effects. I believe it was like 400 plus cards. That's what one of the chat members said. But basically, yeah, it's just tons and tons of stuff here. Now, when you first play the game, the first couple of hours, you're going to think this is kind of boring. There's not a lot of stuff here. It's like non-strategic. But trust me, once you unlock more of the mechanics, once you unlock deck building, you can see all of the choices you have cascades into a strategy. Now you're able to make your whole deck of cards. At the beginning, you're stuck with using this one just to teach you about the game, but basically you can go ahead and make a full deck of 40 cards, no more, no less, 40 cards, and you have to fill it with creatures, spells, and different sorts of weapons. So it's up to you to balance what types of weapons and armors you want, because every time you do battle, you also have to play a card if you have a applicable battle card. So that's a weapon or a defensive card. Now, your opponent kind of knows what you have in your hand, but you also know what they have in your hand as well. So what you can do is you can bluff. You can pretend to play a card, because no matter what, a card visual is going to show up, and then it'll flip or not flip. So basically, you can see going in the results. Like, oh, if no one interferes, I will 100% win this battle. But they have a chance to put a defensive card. So they might bluff, you know, but they don't want to spend the card, but you go ahead and overcompensate by putting up another card, and just one each, right? So, but then you might overkill them. But once again, maybe you decide not to do it because you think they're going to bluff, and then you lose, and then you're not able to steal that space. So there's mind games, there's strategy, there's deck building. There's a lot of, once again, strategies that really work over time. Do I want to run this pathway over here? Do I put this monster down even though they're not part of this color because I want to build up my forces? You know, it's a lot of like balancing, right? Balancing of cards, balancing of your money as well, because the whole goal, once again, it's to get the certain amount of magic gold. So there's gold currency that you have, and then there's total gold, your total value, which is going to be probably your worth, right? Your money worth. It depends on how much property you own and how much money you have. Once you hit the limit of that combination over the goal of the round, all you have to do is get back to the go castle spot, and then you simply win there. So, but your opponent knows when you're very close, because all of the scores are real-time running. So you can play 1v1, you can play with multiple players, and you can also play online. It's going to be kind of nuts. I highly recommend that you play this game once you play the first couple of matches. Play on 1.5 times or 2 times speed. It's not, you know, it goes pretty fast, but honestly, it's very, very easy to see what's going on later. I don't know. I haven't played online yet, so I don't know how that's going to go. Whether or not people are going to, take too long, what happens when they disconnect, if there's going to be ranked or anything like that. So I don't have any answers to those questions at all. I will be diving more deeper into that later, but I'm very happy going through the story right now, because after every battle, you get an account level up. And once you start leveling up, you unlock new cards to put in your deck. You could have a bunch of, like, I think you could add 3 or 4 copies of a certain card in your deck, so you can go ahead and go to the shop and buy stuff. You get money after every battle. So basically it's battling, story, fixing up your deck and buying things, and then that's it. Just go over and over and over again. So the fun is all about just these matches that last around 30 minutes to maybe even an hour, depending on how competitive it can get and whether or not you might have to replay it. But the more you play and the more upgrades you do to your deck, you're going to want to really strategize and make new sort of, make a lot of different types of decks. Lots of cool strategies, because there's tons of cards and you can have multiple of them in it, so it's really good. I was just very pleasantly surprised. I knew the IP going in, I knew it was going to be this type of game, but I didn't know how deep it was going to be. I came in thinking, okay, this is just going to be very simple, super crazy luck based, which it is. Don't, I'm not going to lie. It is luck based. You do have to roll that die, but that's the most of the luck you're going to have to deal with is rolling a dice and what card you draw. But that's kind of how deck building games kind of work. Deck building, this is kind of, it's a collectible card game, deck builder. But basically, you can mitigate a lot of that stuff, but sometimes you're going to get a bunch of really bad rolls. But in that case, you can always fix your deck up with spells that kind of modify the rolls. But then you have to kind of sacrifice luck to add in more sort of cards, and so you can, really mix and match things. This is a good game. I highly recommend it. You can even play it on a regular Switch. It runs really well. It's also on Switch 2, and as I'm recording this, it'll be on PC later on. Now, I also heard that there's not going to be any crossplay. That's really unfortunate, because a game that's really, really small like this, I believe there's a lot of people, especially me, because I knew about it and I knew how cool this potentially could have been. That's why I checked it out. I mean, I did not get advertised this game at all. I'm the kind of person who goes online and I look at upcoming games so I can write it down and see what to play. And this one popped up and I was like, Culdcept, oh my god, I know that game. I think a lot of people, the reason why they made this game is a lot of people are looking forward to this. So it's kind of unfortunate that there's no cross-play. Maybe in the future it could be changed, but again, it's to be expected because it's a really, really small game. But I think if a lot of people band together and just buy it on one platform, they can all have fun and just play together. But man, I'm telling you now, there's so many like cards that's like, oh, take that card, really, really crazy stuff. So you can go heavily strategize into how you win the game, more monsters, one color of a monster, go straight neutral. You have a lot of movement spells, nothing but attack and defensive cards, a mix of cursing. It's just a lot of strategy. And I cannot wait to make a ton of deck, because when you go make your deck, it's like you make your book, you edit your book. There's tons of spots for it, lots of slots for you to make your deck. So they really want you to go in and strategize and just have some fun and experiments. And what's a really cool thing about the game is, once again, the progression. Even though you're doing nothing but rolling a dice and making decisions, there's enough decisions here where I feel like I'm actually progressing, I'm learning, I'm seeing what the enemy has, I'm synergizing with all of the different creatures that I have to make some good strategies and just make things work. The AI is okay. They're not terrible. I think like once you play free play, you might be able to mess with them a little bit more, but so far in the story, it hasn't been too bad. I've only lost like maybe once as we go on, but yeah, it's a good game. So that's it. That's my review for Culdcept Begins. If you guys are interested, I'll be uploading my full playthrough on Mabimpressions 2. That's our Let's Play channel. There's a link down below so you can watch all of that. You can skim through it and see how well we did. And of course, watch us as we play all the way through. I'm going to be streaming it as well, so please follow me on YouTube and Twitch. And yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Let me know what you guys think about Culdcept Begins. Bye.